Hello and welcome to another edition of the Eternal Journey. I'm the Resolves, and this is Tin Man's latest take on the old Fire Justice Shadow charge deck. So since the printing of In Cold Blood, it's been pretty rough to try and get away with playing Inquisitor and Makto on the ladder. Especially now that the Fel decks are being given a little bit of a boost, we should expect to be seeing a little bit more In Cold Blood and feeding time on the ladder. But cowards can't block warriors, and it's time to get back on the ladder with one of the more resilient decks, as if your opponent doesn't have In Cold Blood and feeding time, then they're in pretty rough shape to the Inquisitor, Makto and Icaria package. Now this is more based on like charge with a little bit of a lifesteal sub-theme with things like the Vicious Highwayman and the Whirling Duo. So it's a lot less weapon centric, so perhaps the wanted posters aren't as great as they used to be, especially now they cost a little bit more. But we do have a bunch of cheap interaction here and a couple of deadly units like the Ripknife Assassin here. You should be able to draw some cards off the wanted poster and just keep us going through the deck so we can just end the game with a nice little Icaria. The deck's sweet, and I've tried this on the ladder a little bit before I started this video, so I'm going to see how we can get on with this video. Okay, on to the games. Okay, so here I'm on the draw actually, but a nice easy redraw I see. This is a little bit low. We can use a scout here, just try and find a little bit more action. And if we get beat down, hopefully the Whirling Duo will be able to help us out a little bit here. And if it gets like a slower control deck that isn't playing In Cold Blood, then this Rise of the Challenger is just straight up getting a Makto. So if we get Praxis, then I think that'll be easy. Turn 4-5. If it's Crest here, just bottom any powers. And a Sig Power, sort of the same thing. Because our influence is looking pretty good here. All thing we're sort of missing is like the third Justice, but we can pick that up with the Seek Power anyway. And this could very well be Moment of Creation. So just develop our power pretty nicely here. And though they do have some turn to frogs, I'm probably still going to be just getting a Makto here just so we're able to apply pressure a little bit earlier. And with double torch here, we might even be able to just burn our opponent out if we're able to get him nice and low enough here. And I've had quite a bit of success on the ladder with the Moment deck recently. It feels like it's got a lot of its matchups covered for like just Hailstorms and Lightning Storms, and then oh, well, there's one of our Maktos. So that might be a reason to get something other than Makto. But I'm still probably just going to grab one. As you can get a carry there, and a lot of people do get a carries like well before they can actually play it. And it's a little bit greedy, though I am often dead to it. But generally, you want to get something that you can sort of play, or something that's going to have a game-breaking effect. Because if our opponent's unable to deal with our Maktos, then these will end the game pretty quickly. They're just huge flying bodies. And even if they get like one-shot silenced, still sort of okay. So Equivocate is something that I should really be thinking about here. Oh nice, we'll get a Batteriez. Well, given we've got a bunch of power in hand, that Batteriez is actually fine. Are they going for the spike? No. So sometimes when like my life total is mostly irrelevant, it can be worthwhile just to try and spike it by hitting the whatever the X5 or X6 is, and just hoping to hit like a Torch or a Purify. But I'm more in the market for just trying to race in the air here. Nothing in the void here for this dark turn, so I'll just pass in the turn. And we do have lethal in the air, and if well, we're nearly there with if just the one Makto survives as well, as we do have 6 points of burn in hand. But given our huge life total is basically 30. Okay, well, Mullet is going to do some work here. But without a follow-up burn spell, we should be fine just to keep pressing on here. I sort of don't mind 2 for on ourselves here. We're getting 5 damage. And we will be able to deal with the mullet here. Just want to keep the skies nice and clear. Going to be able to ultimate the Vadius next turn as well, which means that I really can't attack here. And still, of course, because we've got revenge units, this Dark is not going to be able to do anything. Right, okay, so the opponent's feeling a little bit more confident now because they do have a Sandstorm Titan. But we're at such a light total that we actually could just be okay. Ultimate the Vadius and attacking with both. Because we're still getting the 5 damage there. Because the opponent has to block the 7-2 here. Although they could have another copy of Equivocate, which would be... Okay, so we're looking at the Scorpion Wasp here. So now we'll be taking 11 back. So if there's a burn spell in our future, then we're in some rough shape here. Now we do sort of need to find our Maktos again. And, well, a little bit too late, because here's the Heart of the Vault to finish us off. Okay, well, here we are on the draw, but we've got a sort of reasonable hand. We've got a bunch of, like, removal spells here in Slays and Torch, and we've got the Ripknife Assassin to keep getting us in there. So I've got a pretty good mixture of units and spells there. And to follow with the Whirling Duo is going to be pretty nice. If I propose just like a Stone Scar beatdown deck, then we could be in good shape here. Because we've got multiple answers just for a Champion of Chaos here. If our opponent doesn't play anything... Okay, so it looks like actual Grenadines here. Interesting choice there. But I think rather than lose our unit to block in this, I think I'd much rather... I think I might have to be a Slay as well. Yeah, just... I thought that next time we can use a Torch plus the Whirling Duo. Because of course, even though the Tripwire Grinding is only a 1-2, when it dies it gets to deal a damage wherever it wants, so it is still able to trade with 2-2s. Well, it's going to lead with a slightly smaller one, just in case there's any sort of madness nonsense. Just consider, like, would I 2-4 myself in the face of a madness here? Well, the torches here could be pretty good as well, because this means we'll be able to attack pretty freely. Because triple blocks and double blocks don't really work anywhere. So I want to block with 3 there, I think. But I'm just going to keep trying to get in for damage here and just keep our board alive. But a Highwayman would be really good here. Because we do have charge units, maybe it's worthwhile just chucking down the Quarry first to try and find another one of them. But for now I'm happy just to attack with this. We're going for a little bit less damage because of that Devour, but let's see what we find with the Quarry. And there we go, we would find like a huge 6-6, but we'll keep that for the surprise next turn. And yep, this is sort of fine. Sort of hoping that it isn't a Combust to follow us up because that'd be pretty gross against us. But if it's just a game 4 and give our unit back, then we're in pretty good shape because we're going to be able to swing for 1,000,000 next turn. Well, 15. Yeah. But would have been even worse for us if we'd have played this out. So let's just get in for our 8. Sadly, just a little bit short being able to use our torch here. And yeah, there wasn't really a situation where I could have used a Slay instead. But here's a decent target for a Slay. Well, let's torch it. Yeah, let's just torch it. Get out of the way. And what happens here if we just use a Slay? I don't think that really does much for us. I'm going to jump anyway. They'll just take 2 and go to 3. Now we just need to sort of find an Icaria or some way of pushing a little bit more damage before a Gear Cruncher gets down. Right, let's see what's on top. It's unlikely to change our decision. We would have a 7-4 Runehammer next turn, which would be pretty great at gobbling through anything, especially if we just... Yeah, we'll do that. So we'll slay this. Keep getting in. And if I put blocks in a way that they don't have a board next turn, then we'll be in some real good shape here. Okay, so we should be able to get in lethal with the hammer. But I'm pretty confident that our opponent might be able to just flood the board next turn, so maybe the hammer's no good. And well, Quarry says there's a chance here. And the combust was pretty bad for us here because now we're just going to end up playing a hammer out and just trying to mow through, but it's going to be pretty difficult for us to get through unless we're able to find our Icaria here, because I probably will just be able to keep flooding the board, especially with cards like the Gear Cruncher and more simple. What? Flipstuck was not great for us. Now I'm feeling a little bit silly about having this hammer in play because the Infernus are really good against weapons. Well, it's going to be an easy Vanquish, and sort of hope that our opponent's used up all their combusts and madnesses right now. Because if you ever get your Inquisitor Makto madness, then it's usually just the grossest thing. But no blocks there. There's like a sort of argument where maybe I block there just to not get hammered for damage. But also would have just had lethal in play, so... Well, let's try and... Actually, so if we get Makto, we put Makto in play. We're not dead on board to what our opponent's got, so I think it's just going to be an Icaria. Our opponents should have no flying units like in their factions, so we'll just get the Icaria there. And then, as long as our opponent doesn't gain more than 2 life, we're in okay shape. Well, I probably figured out how we was getting the Icaria there. Although I wasn't sure if we should have been getting the Makto or not. Okay, here we are on the play. Easy redraw. Wow, this sounds pretty good. If we get the beatdown deck and we just get to Dark Return back this Whirling Duo, I'm pretty happy. And if it gets like a bigger mid-range deck, then I'm reasonably happy just to Dark Return back this Ripknife Assassin. Just keep mowing for our opponent's units. But this is a pretty robust deck with a lot of the threats in it. Just able to... Well, you're going to be sorry. As you're just able to sort of a load of damage out of nowhere for all this charge. Okay, so it looks like we're playing against Grendins again here. But I'm happy to keep trucking on with the little Whirling Duo that could. And hopefully just get the game into a position where I'll just be able to end it with the Icaria here. And these combusts are a little bit of a nuisance. But we're only like, as long as we find power in the next couple of turns, should be in pretty good shape to be able to play out this Icaria Liberator. Okay, so with a champion of Chaos here, this is telling me that we're playing against like the sort of newer style of Gunslinger's deck with the Ashara in it. I'm not playing power there just in case we find a Crest, because this means we're able to play out the Icaria next turn. And second copy of Icaria, not quite what we're looking for. I'd prefer to have the 7th power, but the Quarry should be able to facilitate it a little bit. And of course we can just always be lucky and just find it off the top anyway. Now with a little bit of something to go on the ground as well with the Ripknife Assassin, I don't mind missing for the turn. But this Makto is probably not staying against an opponent that's probably got Madness, so just get this Madness, well, get this Quarry, and try and find that power. I also couldn't play the Makto because of the single Shadow Influence. And I think I'm probably just to get this, grab the Shadow Influence that we need. And then we should be pretty much set up for whatever we draw now for the rest of the game. But Icaria into Icaria is a lot of damage. And that'll have our opponent down to like 3. But let's get 6 War Cries going. And yep, so plan was just to make the other Icaria and attack him with the entire team here. So we're on the draw with like a really traditional Armory hand here. Just a bunch of Quarries there and a big Dirtly threat. We're on the draw, so I'm not sure if we can actually keep it, but I'd like to see how this works out. Because of course we do have like the Crest to try and find undepleted power, and then we're in pretty good shape because we're just able to quarry and hopefully find whatever it is that we need for the rest of the game. Well, even better, we've got a Vicious Highwayman here. We're against Praxis, but hopefully this is Praxis tokens, in which case the Highwayman will just be really able to clean up for us. And Crest of Vengeance is probably okay here. Not under any pressure right yet. That just means it will have pretty great influence. Though I don't mind being against like real Praxis as well, because we'd have a bunch of Slays in the deck. So we've got ways of dealing with that. And Wanted Poster, that can be good. But as we don't have a removal spell to pair it with, and it's a little bit clunky, I'm just going to bottom that. We'll want to find like an undepleted power here. And yeah, Dawnwalker, so this is like actual real Praxis here. But I think sadly I'm not going to be able to get that Whirling Duo, just going to get the Justice Sigil. And then next turn we should be able to land the Highwayman, just kill this and just be able to attack him for some damage. And gain a little bit of life left that we've lost from just taking this 4 here. And here we go. Could have perhaps been an argument as well, just like Rise to Challenge, get a Makto, because Makto does a pretty good job against this deck. But I think for the most part, I just want to establish the Vicious Highwayman and just not take like a billion damage from these Dawnwalkers. Dawnwalkers are typically a bit of a problem for decks like ours. Oh, let's quite and try and find a Slay for this. So we found a Slay, we won't be able to play it anyway, so let's just get the Crest out. And play down the Ripknife. Ripknife should be able to block here, and we're probably going to be having a block here as well. But without a Slay or anything to be able to pick apart our opponent's board, then we're going to be in some rough shape here. But of course, when we get to 7, we might be able to just like rise the challenge for a Valkyrie False or something like that. Also, wouldn't mind an additional copy of the Vicious Highwayman, just so we're able to mow down both of these and get for a little bit of damage. And we're taking a bunch of damage here. But I don't think we want to trade off the Vicious Highwayman quite yet. And well, they liked what they saw on top. And Makto's not exactly doing the job for us here. It is a little bit too late. So I'm thinking here, maybe we do play the Makto. Gives us a reasonable blocker and then we're able to play Icaria next turn. But I think the play is going to... It won't be able to do what I really need to do. So I think it's going to be Crest of Chaos here. So there's our Runehammer. Runehammer will be able to trigger this, which would be good, but with no War Cries on it, it's not going to do enough. So it looks like we're just playing out the Makto here. We're just blocking here, taking 6. But we're not in good shape here. We really need a harsh rule. But unfortunately, that's not in our deck. And the Carnosaur here is going to do the job. So let's go on to the next game. Okay, and we're on the play. Let's have a look at the hand. And this is probably fine. If I probably was playing something like Skycrag, then we're in okay shape because we've got the Vara's Favour, slay whatever's big, and Vicious Highwayman should be able to tidy up. So I think we'll keep this. Though we do need to find like another fire source pretty quickly. Relative challenge, not quite what we're looking for. Because we do just really want power here. Let's have against Xenon, so hopefully we're able to make this Suffocate work for us. It could just be a case of like a Vara's Favour on a Temple Scribe, but just want to be able to hit our power on turn. So I'm curious what kind of Xenon deck we're against here. Well, using that Vara's Favour I feel pretty silly now. Because we don't have like a cheap and easy answer to the Stormwalker, but find a fire source, we'll be able to pop it off and start getting in with the Highwayman. Gonna keep the torch up in case anything like a Instigator or if everyone tries to... Well, we can't play the Runehammer, that's pretty gross. But I'm not using a Slay on this. I'd rather save it for if this is a Sandstorm Titan or something like that. But we'll be more inclined to sort of keep the torch as a bit of a counter trick here to anything like a Xenon initiation. Well, plans changed. We've got a Appointed Poster, so hopefully we'll be able to draw into a little bit more influence here. Oh, perfect. So we don't even get ambushed by an Iron here because we can still torch. And more White Poster is not exactly what we're looking for. And the Vara's charge could be pretty gross for set, but we can't play any of them. Well, we can't play either of them anyway, so it's not too bad for us. I'm just going to get this out of our hand, just get in play and start trying to get some damage in. If opponent's got an Iron there, then the block wouldn't have been very safe anyway. I think right here it's just touch the Carnosaur and just trade with it. It's not a great trade. Maybe it was better to not do that, but I guess we're sort of priced into slaying this dude. Well, I hate using removal spells on Dawnwalker, so it doesn't get the premium one at least. Okay, so we're in good shape now. We're able to sort out influence out because we've got the Seek power here. Well, let's grab it before we play one. And the little Ripknife here should be able to do a little bit of work for us. Unfortunately, the Iron's going to get to ultimate here and just put something huge into play. But fortunately for us, it also silences it. Yep, no blocks here. Just going to suffocate this, slay this, and just start ticking up the war cries. I may as well get a little bit of value out of this Runehammer here. But trading actual resources for Dawnwalkers is obviously just gross. And we're in a pretty gross position because our opponent does have like Vara's Choice in the deck. We can't really just like rise to the challenge for an Icaria here, so we sort of have to just get like a Makto. I think I'm gonna might leave a 7/7. Right, we'll grab the 7/7. We've got a 9/7 in the air then. And then if our opponent does have a Vara's Choice there, it's not the end of the world because we still just have like a 9/7 for 5. If our opponent like ultimates here and then attacks, then it's a pretty easy block. Don't want to lose my hammer. But the 12/12 here is going to be pretty rough to beat. Well, 13/13 now. Well, Quarry trying to find a Makto. And not quite. Got Valkyrie Enforcer, which I think is reasonably good too. So let's shut this down and suffocate this. And just the intention of blocking the 13/13 there. Well, I'll probably block both and just try and find that Makto as soon as possible. Right. Yeah, I'll trade. Just get rid of it. Now, well, we've got 2 Ripknife Assassins, so it might be okay here. But I'm not super confident. But it's a pretty interesting game, a lot's happened in it. So I want to get rid of this, but this does give our opponent the opportunity to like Dark Return and put it back into play, which obviously isn't great for us. But we're just sort of trying to buy time now. Now it looks like if we'd have actually just got the Icaria, we perhaps would have been in much better shape because we'd have already hit our opponent a bunch of times, but the Countersaw would have ended that anyway. So this is a Z initiation again, so I was dealing with our deadly unit sadly. So I guess we're just blocking here because, well, it's lethal. Which is no reason to perhaps not have just gone ham with the blocks. But well, might be in okay shape here. We've got 2 units back that's going to require 3 units to, well, 3 removal spells to get through for lethal. So I suppose we'll just block him with the good old Makto here. Oh, great. So we're in pretty good shape here. Just finding the Makto straight away. And I think I'll just try and hit another carry here. Whirling Duo is pretty fine here as well. As this lets us get in for 8. We'll go up to 16, so we're not lethal to being hit with the Countersaw, so we don't have to block it. But we'll probably add us for free with the Inquisitor Makto here as well anyway. There's been quite a lot of play in this game. So opponent's thinking here. And it must have been like some sort of weird Dark Return maths or something like that. But yeah, we managed to pull that one out of the bag. Okay, and I think this is a redraw actually. Influence isn't perfect, and we've just got like the 1 interactive spell and a threat here. Especially on the draw, I'd just like to have a little bit more interaction. And this isn't too much better, but at least be able to play the Makto on time. That's even better. Get a nice Crest here. I think we'll keep the Quarry. Just digs us through unless there's a suitor one here. But Echo card in a fire deck. This must be the Yeti deck, perhaps? Is an unstable form Yeti deck that's rolling around. So we've got another Quarry with a Ripknife, and I think I'll just take the Ripknife here. Be a pretty nice turn 3, just like Suffocate a thing. Play Ripknife and Seek Power. Okay, so opponent's up to something with an Echo card and this, so let's stop that before it goes anywhere silly. Just going to fire off Suffocate now and draw some cards. Perhaps should have just Suffocated and played a Ripknife, but I'd really just rather get the Wanted Poster out of hand. That's a cheeky little scout. And Slay's probably good, we'll keep that. The war cries that these can generate, whoops, well, opponent's off it. Okay, so that was the FJS charge deck. It's still pretty good, although I felt in a couple of spaces that we were just really lacking a sweeper. So I've got to slide a couple of harsh rolls in there just to be able to remove some like mid-range threats or like aggressive go wide strategies. Then that would have been pretty good, because we are just trying to like 1-1 our opponents and then go over the top with stuff like Makto carrying the Highwayman anyway. Overall, I think the deck's pretty good. We didn't really tend to move anywhere on the ladder. It was a sort of win 2, lose 2 sort of thing. But it's good to see that this deck is still playable even after the changes to a bunch of the cards, inclusion of In Cold Blood. Okay, so thanks for watching. I've been that Resolves, and this was FJS Charge.